I want to show you what I think will happen with Fundrise in 2023. Will we see an even larger correction, or will things start changing for the better? I will explain why I say what I say and provide evidence for my reasoning. My 2022 prediction was right on point with what happened, and so I'm confident that my 2023 prediction will be just as accurate. Coming up. If you're new to Fundrise, make sure to open a new account using my referral link in the description below and deposit just $10. For a limited time only, you will get a $50 bonus added to your account absolutely free, no strings attached. So don't miss this opportunity. Now, let's get started. First, just to remind everyone, very quickly, in January of 2022, so about a year ago, I made a bold prediction in one of my videos that Fundrise investors will see a return anywhere between 0 and 4% for the year. As it turns out, my prediction was right on point, as both of my Fundrise portfolios saw close to 0% return in 2022. So, without further ado, I, the greatest investment wizard of all time, predict that in 2023, Fundrise investors will experience average returns anywhere between -2 and -6%, depending on how long they've been investing with Fundrise and which investment plan that you're a part of. More seasoned investors and those in income and balanced investment plans will have better returns than newbies and those that are in long-term growth investment plans. And that is mainly because their portfolios are more diversified over long periods of time and will have more dividend-based returns. Now, let's go over my reasoning behind this prediction and even get into what I think we will see quarter by quarter in 2023. Now, it is no secret that I've been reiterating on this channel throughout 2022 that real estate always lags behind the stock market. So when people were saying that Fundrise is somehow immune to macroeconomic factors affecting the stock market, I always said, hey, it's just a matter of time. Now that Fundrise has reported its first ever negative quarter in history, we can make an educated guess about by how long Fundrise is actually lagging the market, and from that possibly derive when will Fundrise reach the bottom. For that, let's take a look at this daily chart of S&P 500, using which we can measure the overall general performance of the stock market. Now, this chart is dating back to 2018. From this chart, we can conclude that the stock market has reached its top somewhere around the fourth quarter of 2021, as you could see here. This is somewhere around December of 2021 and January of 2022. And right at that date, we could see that the downward trend has started and is continuing at this point in time. Now, before we go any further, I just want to go over this photo here real quick. For those who don't know, there are 4 predictable stages to the stock market, as can be seen in this photo. So as you can see here, there's an accumulation stage. That is where the diamond hands, investors, and smart money are actually buying up good value stocks and companies after some sort of a crash or a correction that happened in the past. Then there's an uptrend or a markup like you see here, and that is where things get overhyped. Newer investors are buying into more speculative things, and things just are great and everyone is jumping on the bandwagon. Now, then there's distribution. Now, that is where the market hits the top. During the distribution, many smart money that bought during the accumulation phase, they actually start taking profits because they know that this rally cannot last forever. Unfortunately, there's many other fools at this distribution stage that buy at the top thinking things will keep going up forever, which of course they never do. And finally, there's a downtrend here that we could see going down, which is where everyone is starting to realize that the actual valuations of the companies do not align with their earnings performance. And a lot of time, the companies that increased in stock value the most almost have no earnings. And these are the 4 stages. Now, why am I showing you this? Well, let's go back to our S&P 500 chart, and wow, doesn't it look almost the same as this photo here? Now, you will never see exact straight lines going sideways up, sideways down, right? But what I'm going to do here is actually I'm going to show you that this looks exactly like the 4 stages of the stock market cycle that I showed you. So let's grab an arrow here. Accumulation phase. Very, very easy. Blue arrow here. Let's grab another arrow. This is where things got overhyped right after COVID, right? Look at this. Everyone's buying everything. Everyone is printing money. We went here. Okay. Now, out of nowhere, people realized, hey, listen, is this really happening right now? Will it be going up forever? And then, of course, the Fed started increasing the interest rates in order to tame inflation because the inflation was, and probably gonna be out of control for a little while. Things started to go sideways. This is where the smart money, a lot of institutional investors started selling whatever they bought in the accumulation phase. And of course, there are many, many newbies and fools out there that are buying at this phase. Stage, and then finally we enter the downward trend here. We're possibly still in the downward trend, or we have very recently, it looks like here we started moving more sideways, entered an accumulation phase. It is yet to be seen. However, the important thing here is that it took about 3 quarters to go from the distribution stage, aka the top of the market, to somewhere to the beginning of the accumulation stage that we are seeing right now. Remember, 3 quarters. That will become very, very important when we try to relate this to our Fundrise portfolio. Okay, now let's take a look at one of my Fundrise portfolios. I have 2, but this time we're just gonna concentrate on one. Okay. For this, we're going to go to the portfolio. We're going to go to net returns. And this just pretty much takes us to a quarter by quarter since I started investing. Okay. So what do we know here? Over here in the 3rd quarter of 2022, okay, this is the first time that we saw negative returns with Fundrise. Correct? So we know that Fundrise has reached its top in the 3rd quarter of 2022. So somewhere between here, we hit the top, aka the distribution stage, right? And then in the 4th quarter, which this graph shows right over here, a big negative drop right over here. Fundrise have completely crashed. So again, this is the 4th quarter of 2022. So that means we entered a downward trend here somewhere in the 3rd quarter of 2022. So if we go back to this S&P 500 chart, we could see that this distribution stage for Fundrise actually happened during the 3rd quarter of 2022 rather than the 4th quarter of 2021 like it did for the stock market. So as you could see, Fundrise is lagging the stock market by about 3 quarters because the top of the stock market was the 4th quarter of 2021, while the top of Fundrise was the 3rd quarter of 2022. So as you could see, the actual lag of Fundrise real estate behind the market crash is 3 quarters. So I believe something similar will happen with Fundrise. We're likely to see negative returns in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd quarters of 2023 with Fundrise, and will likely have a positive 4th quarter of 2023, but it will not be enough to offset the losses experienced in the first 3 quarters. Now, let's see how this downtrend will play out quarter by quarter in 2023 with Fundrise. For that, let's take a look at this graph here. As you can see on the right side, we can see that things don't just go from positive to negative and vice versa like this. Instead, it's a gradual upward trend like we see here. Okay, see, it just started going up, up, up. It started going down, 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 down. Right? So it's very, very gradual upward movement and downward movement. I believe that we're likely to see an exact mirror image of these positive quarters of 2021 and some of 2022. I think that the fourth quarter of 2022 that just passed was the biggest negative wick that we will see with Fundrise. So this bar here, that's the largest as it's gonna get. I don't think it will go lower. What I think is gonna happen is gonna still be negative, but for the first quarter of 2023, we're either going to be at about the same height or it's going to be a little bit less of a negative return. For the second quarter, it's going to be even less. For the third quarter, it's going to be less. And then I think in the fourth quarter, we will see a positive return, even though it will not be much and it will not be enough to offset the negative returns that we will see in the first three quarters. Therefore, my prediction of an average for the 2023 quarters will be between -2 and -6% for the entire year. Obviously, those investors who are part of the balanced and income-based portfolios will likely see better returns than those in long-term growth portfolios. But it is important to remember that long-term portfolios saw much larger appreciation returns in 2021. I also believe that things will start to slowly recover in 2024. But of course, there are numerous black swan events that can occur and completely ruin or possibly maybe even benefit us as investors. So guys, that is it for me, but I want to hear from you. Do you agree with my 2023 Fundrise analysis, and do you agree with my prediction? Let me know what you think the returns will be for you and me in 2023. Which portfolio are you part of? Are you switching from long-term to balanced and income-based? Leave your comments down in the description below. I answer them all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.